Hello, hi. Welcome to a new book video. For this video, we are gonna do some new books. Yes. So far, we have done one Aries book video, which is books that recommended to the Aries zodiac or horoscope sign. We also done an INFJ one, books that are recommended to the personality type INFJ. And now, drumroll, we're gonna do a Nordic one. Yes. Scandinavian Nordic one. I am an Aries. I am an INFJ. And I am also Nordic/Scandinavian. So now we're gonna delve into the Nordic Scandinavian stuff. So we are gonna go into the web and look at some book recommendations and see what we can find. What kind of books I should read as a Nordic person. And who knows, maybe there are some gems there that I haven't discovered. So let's do that. I'm gonna pull up my phone here. So I might look away from the camera a bit extra much, but I promise I'm here, and let's go for the ride. Okay, here we go. I went to the Googles, and we're gonna use Goodreads again, apparently. Wow! So, best Scandinavian and Nordic literature. Let's see what they got for me. The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. This is a very well-known book, movies, series, they've done it all. I have actually never read or watched, consumed anything of it, but maybe I should. Maybe. So that could be an option. So let's put that on. Want to read bucket list. Then we got Pippi Longstocking, and that is like it's childhood stories, and it's really charming and cute, and I mean, I grew up with this stuff, you know, so it would be really fun to revisit in some shape or form. I don't know how the books are now as an adult revisiting them, but I mean, it's a classic, so that might be fun to do. Yeah, gonna put it on my list just in case. Okay, let's keep looking. Oh, Sophie's World. I heard about this book. I remember a bunch of advertisements about this book when it came out. I'm pretty sure. Oh, wait. Was it Sophie's Choice? Oh, no. I don't remember. But its name's Sophie's World. My name is Sophie. My name on the channel is Soph, short for Sophie. Because Soph is just what I'm called. So I will put it on the to read list because it has my name. Reasons. Oh yeah, let the right one in. Yes, I have watched both the movies, the Swedish movie and the American remake. It is about vampires, or a vampire, but it's more about bullying and like isolation and drama and that stuff. I enjoyed the first movie a lot, the Swedish rendition of it. So therefore, I was like, this is one of those that I will never read the book, because then I'm gonna destroy the movie. But now seeing this, you know, I will put it on the I want to read list. Maybe I will read it. Because I wanna, you know. No way, The Emperor's New Clothes is a Scandinavian/Nordic tale. That's fun. Okay, what the heck, I will put it on the list also. Why not? Oh yeah, this one. The 100-year-old man who climbed out the window and vanished. This just seems fun. I remember there's a movie, a Swedish movie of it. And it's about an old man who climbed out a window and just vanished. I mean, that could be fun. Just adventures, you know. It's never too late. So let's add that to the list too. A Man Called Ove, I read that. It's a very good book. Very good book. Yeah. My grandmother asked me to tell you she's sorry. Oh, that sounds cute. And it's by the same author who did A Man Named Ove, or Called Ove, whatever. Yeah, let's add that to the list. That could be cute. Yeah. Okay, dokie. We have a bunch of stuff we added to our reading list now. So let me see what I can get a hold of, what I can find basically. And I will get back to you guys in the future self. And we will see what books we will dwell into. And you know, why don't you join me? Let's read some Nordic and Scandinavian books together. Okay? Let's go. Hello. Welcome back to the video. You guys haven't noticed anything, but I have been reading the books and now I'm back. Ta-da! You know, outfit change. It's a new day. So, we're gonna talk about some Nordic books. The books I got hold of was mostly Swedish books, so oopsie doopsie. But yeah, I wasn't able to get any Danish or Norwegian or other ones, so it's gonna be Swedish books. So, without further ado, look at this beauty. Wow! Swedish flag. So beautiful. So she's gonna go here in the background. And let's get into some books, shall we? Grab your coffee, grab your tea, grab your snacks, and let's go. The 100-year-old man who climbed out the window and disappeared. This was the first book I read out of all the 4 books I'm totally gonna go through. This is a funny ass book. This is a goofy ass book. You follow the 100-year-old man who climbs out of the window and disappears and goes on basically adventures. And just random stuff happens, just random shit. And it's really silly. It deals with the present day when he's 100 years old. He actually lives on his birthday, which is pretty epic. But anyways, deals on when the present day, and also then it has flashback scenes when he was younger and stuff, and what kind of things that happens, and the crazy amount of people he meets. Known well public people in history. So it deals with flashbacks and then present time. That's it. And I would describe it very much like Forrest Gump-ish vibe, if you guys have seen that movie. It's nonsensical, but also it's sensical. It's kind of like if you describe everything that happens in the book, it sounds so weird, but it makes sense. It's very much that humor vibes in it. There's also a movie of the book. I have watched the movie. It has a really famous Swedish comedian actually in that movie, and the movie was goofy as hell. The book was goofy as hell. The book had more goofiness, I guess, because they had to cut some stuff off. This book is a great time if you want to find like a summer book or a little book to bring on your trips or vacation or adventures. I think this is a great book. Really funny, really light and easy to read. Absurd. I remember reading sections in the book and I stopped and I took pictures of like the lines in the book because it was so absurd. It was so absurd what was written, and I'm like, this is my life now. Oh my god. Mostly about the 100-year-old man, but also once again he meets a bunch of characters on his way and gets in so much trouble, and it's really silly and really goofy. I just love my old man stories, you know. Yeah, a man called Otto or a man named Ove or whatever it is. I always say the wrong title because I mix the movie and the book. But that one is way more sadder. This one is weird. Of course it has some down-to-earth moments and stuff, but it's just a fun time. A fun and goofy time. So yeah, I recommend The 100-Year-Old Man Who Climbed Out the Window and Vanished. And I read this in Swedish, because I'm Swedish. I read it in Swedish. It was really fun to read it in Swedish. And also, we don't give rat's ass about like censoring stuff, you know, with vulgar languages and stuff. Yeah, no PG filter. So it's so fun to just hear people talk that they normally talk when stuff goes really bad and things. Anyways, that is book number 1. Next book is... The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Or as in Swedish, because once again I've read this book in Swedish, Men Who Hates Women, which is a strong title. They kept it The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo in English, so we're gonna go with that. This is a crime thriller book. It is book 1 of 3 of something called the Millennium series. So there are 3 books in total, though you can read this on your own. You don't have to read the other ones. I mean, if you wanna, you can, but just know that it's book 1 of 3. It follows mainly 2 characters. There's a lot of other characters, but mainly 2 characters in Sweden. They are trying to solve a case that's been unsolvable for, I think it's 40 years or something like that. And you got this male character that I believe is a journalist or was a journalist. And then you also got this female character who is kind of like a hacker vibe. Very like dark clothes, gothic, emo-ish style. They are 2 very different characters with different personalities and dilemmas, but they kind of meet up and go on this like adventure together to solve this case. And it's an interesting read. It is a crime thriller. It deals with some really heavy subject and very dark. It is very much focused on violence or violence towards women specifically, and also deals with sexual things and the R word and very mature stuff and heavy stuff. So if you are triggered by that stuff, I would not recommend reading the book. There's also movies. I have not watched the movies. It is a really thrilling ride. It's kind of giving me a little bit of the Gone Girl thing, where it's a mystery and it's dark and you don't know really where it's going kind of vibe. Though the plot in Gone Girl and this, The Girl with the Dragon 2, is different, but like it has that thriller aspect in it and it just keeps going and going. So it's a very exciting read. I would say that in the beginning it's a pretty slow book, but then it keeps building, and then halfway through it ramps up. The female character, was it Lisbeth, the dark-haired, emo chic, girly. I really like her when I read the book. All characters are flawed. It's very much a flawed and dark, gritty world they are portraying, but I did really like her and her human emotions and what she has gone through. Will I watch the movies? I don't know, because it was such a hard book to read. I am not super comfortable when it comes to sexual things happening and R-wording and stuff. Don't like that. Don't like that. But if you have to have that in the book or the movie, I get it. But it was such a hard read, so I don't know if I will watch the movies. But I'm glad that I read the book. And it is one of a kind. It is super exciting. And normally I don't gravitate towards like crime thriller things, but this is like one of the exceptions for sure. Very different vibes from The 100-Year-Old Man Who Climbed Out the Window and Vanished. That's just goofy, fun, and this is very dark, gritty, realistic vibes. So those are 2 books. I am gonna finish up the other 2 books and I will be right back. Okay? Okay, I'm back. Woo! Just wore a black shirt this time. You know, when can you go wrong with black? Next book. Next book is Let the Right One In, or Let Me In, depending on whatever language you read this book in. Let the Right One In is based in Sweden, outside of Stockholm, a little like suburban place, and it deals with kid characters. And this kid, Oscar, I believe his name is in the book. And the American one, he's Owen or something. They renamed him, at least in the movie. You follow it through Oscar's perspective, and he's very isolated and alone, and gets bullied very brutally in school, and then he befriends a neighbor, a new person who moves in next to them, which is this person named Eli, and they form a relationship together, and then like mysterious murder stuff is happening. And it gets spooky. Woo! This is mostly a drama book, I would say. It has some supernatural stuff in it. It does deal actually with vampires. It doesn't go so deep in the vampire lore. It's not really a book about vampires. It's more about humans, and there happens to be vampires. Kind of vibe. It is a really interesting book. I think it was around 500 pages. Let the Right One In I read, and I read it in Swedish once again. It's dark and it's gritty. It is describing things in a really brutal and gritty way. Once again, dealing with bullying, also dealing with people dying. Very kind of became gory in a sense. I think that's fine, but I want to make sure to let you guys know that it goes to dark places. It's also deal with like alcoholism and that stuff. The thing that I had a hard time with is that it does deal with a pedophile character. So it does deal with pedophilia, and you will read that in the book. So it has some really heavy stuff in it. It's also this kind of cute story where Oscar and Eli are befriending each other and forming this relationship, and it goes up from there. I mean, no character in this book have it easy, man. Man, it's so dark, and it made me sad. There are two movies. There's a Swedish movie, Let the Right One In, and there's an American one, Let Me In. And I would say that the movies are great like blueprints or great like starter points. So you get like the basic if you watch the movies, which makes sense because often when it's booked they have to cut some stuff off and, you know, don't have time for all that stuff. But I would say that if you really enjoyed the movie or the movies, then I would recommend to read the book to get some more lore and get to know the side character more, because you don't really do that in the movies. It's mostly on Oscar and Eli, and you don't get to know the other characters around that well. You will get to know them, and then you will like them, and then they will break your heart. That kind of book. And I wasn't expecting it to go as dark as it went, but it went there. It went there. It's a good book. I enjoyed it. I'm glad that I read it. It was one of those books that I was afraid to ever read because I wouldn't like the movies anymore. And I would say that the movies and the book are different in different ways. So I both like them. Once again, not big fan of the pedophilia stuff in the book. Not for me. So in the movies I could say they don't show that. So that's read the book. It is a good book if you want something spooky, but mostly like drama, romance, almost like a little romance-ish, and deals with bullying, and it's dark. And there's also a second book after this one that I have not read. It follows the two main characters after the ending of this book and what they are up to. So that's exciting. Let the right one in. That's it. And the next book is... Pippi Longstockings! Yes! I knew everyone was asking for it, right? Right? So what I did was I read The 100-Year-Old Man Who Climbed Out the Window and Vanished first. Then I read The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Then I read Let the Right One In. And now I finished with Pippi Longstockings. Because reading The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo and Let the Right One In combined after each other at the same period, I was like, life sucks. Humanity. Oh. Therefore, it was perfect for some Pippi Longstocking action. Yes. Pippi Longstocking is a certain amount of short stories or stories about Pippi. There are children's stories. Pippi is this girl with her hair up and freckles all over her face, and she's an orphan, but she inherits a lot of money from her dad, I believe, who's not in the picture because he's at sea, and she lives in this really wonky and really cute yellow house, and she got a monkey and she got a horse and she befriends her neighbors and they do wonky little adventures together, basically. Pippi is such an awesome character because she doesn't really care what people think. She just does what she does. She has such a courage and such a beat to her, which is awesome. And she's very like street smart. Like she goes through a bunch of different adventures. One is like at the circus. Either way, she's not like great at school. She goes to school at one of the chapters, I believe, and she doesn't like it. But she's great at getting into situations and defying the odds and beating the odds, and it's kind of inspiring and also so endearing that she is just what she is, you know? And I actually have a Pippi Longstockings cup. Let me show you. If I show you like this, can you see inside? Pippi Longstocking, she has freckles over her face, and this cup in Swedish says that the more freckles I get, the more beautiful I get. If this continues, I'm gonna be irresistible. Which is so cute. I have freckles, though I'm pale, so you might not see my freckles that much. I think Pippi is a pretty awesome freckle girl and an epic fighter and a fun adventure, and it's just wholesome. And I used to watch the Pippi like movies and stuff when I was a kid. I never read too much Pippi. Maybe my parents read it to me, but I never read it too much. So it was kind of like going back to childhood, reading these stories about Pippi. So it was so lovely. So if you want to read something really cute, and once again, this is a children's book, so you know, it's appropriate for a really young age, then yeah, you know, woo! Such a strong book to finish on. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And I'm glad that I revisited Pippi and she made me feel good about the world and humans again. That's all the books for this video. Thank you so much for watching all this stuff. Please like and subscribe to the video. It helps me out a bunch. Yeah, Nordic books, Swedish books. Wow. I will catch you guys in the next video, whatever we're gonna read or do. Take care and bye bye.